All right. Hi, everyone. I know you just told me to stand there, but I don't want to, so I'm sorry. I'm going to stand here just for a second. Hi, I'm Rebecca Saavik. I'm the Executive Director of Do Space. We just opened last weekend, before I get totally started, I wanted to say that I just love Derek's story. You know, your story of transformation is really inspiring, and I've kind of gone through a similar one myself since last spring. So my background is in libraries, and I also co-founded Open Nebraska, which is a civic hacking Code for America brigade here in town a few years back. And so I used to work at the public library in town, and then I became the executive director of this new project, and it was kind of like I had a very well-defined job, lots of job security, and then it was kind of like, okay, now build a tech library, go, you know what I mean? I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna need some staff, and so then, yeah, so I totally identify with that, and I'm 1,000 times happier now too. But so what is Do Space is a great question, because there is nothing like this in the country. I have been talking to some folks who are library leaders in the museum and archives world, in the tech world. I have yet to hear of anything quite like this. So this is a really exciting project for Omaha, because we're kind of inventing it right here. And so when people ask me about Do Space, my kind of go-to phrase is I call it a community technology library and innovation space. That's kind of a mouthful, and like I said, this is so unique. I'm hesitant to put it in a category. I think we're kind of creating our own category, which is kind of fun. So Do Space is all about access to technology and innovative learning opportunities. And when I say access to tech, I could mean somebody's coming in just to like get on email, done, okay? Checking your email. Or you're coming in to use the most advanced 3D printer in town. You can do that too, right? We're gonna have like job skills classes. They're very basic, like I need help with Microsoft Word, all the way through more advanced stuff for people like you, right? And that's one of the things that I think is really unique about this project, is that we really are striving to serve everyone in the community, from the little tiny babies who are going to come to our Littles Lab programs for kids, all the way to senior citizens. And we have it's called a Senior Cyber Society group for seniors. It's led by senior volunteers, seniors teaching seniors. It's going to be pretty cool. So Do Space, we're at 72nd and Dodge. That was a really strategic location for our project, because it's kind of like a transit hub almost for the city, and we wanted to really make sure that as many people in the city as possible could get to this resource. And it's easy to get here through the bus system from north, south, and west. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. So we opened on Saturday. Over the weekend, we had 3,300 people come through the building. Since then, we've had at least another 1,500. And to me, that's really exciting, because it shows that there's a need for something like this. And probably the best compliment I've heard is that somebody who came in a few days ago, they were like, yeah, I don't know what this is, computers, blah, blah. And then they're like, you know, I didn't know I needed this. And I was like, yes, exactly, because you just didn't know something like this could exist. So we're operated by a nonprofit. We did all of the fundraising up front for the entire project and for our basic operating expenses for 4 years. And it's in the next 4 years that we're going to decide what the next step is. And that alone, just like how we're managing this, I think is really interesting, because we're not like setting up shop and being like, we're going to be here forever. We're saying, look, technology is changing constantly. This is an experiment. This is an incubator. Like let's put some resources towards this and measure it, study it, see what the impact is, and then if we need more, we'll get more. So it's pretty exciting. But one thing I also want to just say briefly about Do Space is that I also kind of refer to Do Space as a community tech movement. And what I mean by that is I really want to knock down barriers to getting access to tech for people to learn together. And I like to use my mom as an example. She is brilliant. She's a linguist. She's a professor. She's like way above me, right? But she flips out over technology. Like, she'll call me with her Kindle and she'll be like, what the fuck? Like, just cussing at me on the, just like, I don't know. Like, she's screaming, she's throwing a fit, and I'm just like, Mom, you need to calm down. Like, you're smarter than this Kindle. Like, you, okay, just let's chill out. But there's people have a lot of anxiety about technology. They're scared of admitting what they don't know. I was telling someone about this project over the summer. It was a nurse. And as soon as I told her about, tech and blah, 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 she just blurted out, she goes, I don't know how flash drives work. And then she just stared at me. And I was like, I can show you, and it's like her, it was like a confession almost. And, I want people to be able to feel comfortable with technology, to knock down whatever barriers they have in getting over that anxiety. That's really important to me. But also, like, the media is constantly always like, tech is changing every half nanosecond, and like no one can keep up, and it's out of control. And like, those of us who are in tech, we know that's not 100% true, right? Like, some tech really doesn't change that much over time. Some does, but not all. So let's just chill out for a second. So anyway, when I talk about this kind of as a movement, I say DoSpace will not succeed without the community to lead it. And so in a sense, this is more of a challenge than anything to Omaha. How are you going to lead this space? What do you want to do with this space? And everyone I meet, I say, give me feedback. What do you want? If I don't know, I can't help coordinate and make connections and offer different workshops and all that stuff. And you guys, specifically in this room, you're the advanced user, right? You guys are the people I brag about. I'm like, oh yeah, we've got this amazing tech community here. It's really cool. But I am super curious on how DoSpace can help you guys, and what do you need, especially in terms of learning, workshops, any kind of community stuff, tools, software, hardware. If you come into DoSpace and you're like, yeah, I wish I had this one program, let me know, and I'm going to put it on the image to all of our computers. So, yeah, I wanted to show you too, just a little bit about our programs and events and stuff. So first off, we've got a lot of different computers, touchscreens, PCs, Macs, you name it, support. We've got volunteer opportunities for people to help other people with tech. And this calendar I kind of hate. It's going to change pretty soon. But if you go through here, we've got a lot of different kinds of workshops and classes and things. And my goal is really to, again, offer things that people didn't know they needed. So tonight we actually did what I'm calling a lifestyle program. And it's about apps to help you maintain your sanity in the holiday season when you're hosting parties. And it's called apps for hosting and feasting. And we had Williams-Sonoma there and Whole Foods. And it's kind of like pulling people in with their existing interests in hosting parties and cooking for your family, and pulling them in and starting to talk a little bit about how tech intersects with your existing ideas. So speaking of that, 3D printing is a big deal at DoSpace. Like I said, we have the most advanced ABS filament printer called Dimension 1200 ES, and we have a little bit of a smaller one called a U-Print. Those are kind of our major machines. We've got a laser cutter too. It's all free to use. If you print something and you want to take it home, you have to pay for the filament. That's pretty affordable. And what's really fun about that space is you can expect it to change constantly. As tech changes, so will that space. And again, if you have ideas, you hear about a cool 3D printer on Kickstarter, whatever, tell me. I want to hear it. I want to be able to make that happen. So. Yeah, what do you think? Do you guys have any ideas, questions, comments?
I actually have this like cheap 3D printer at home myself, but I've been looking for somebody who knows how to like maybe hack it so I can use cheaper filaments.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, I was wondering, like, is there something online or like somewhere where I can post at DoSpace where like does somebody know anything about these 3D printers?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We've got a few people on staff who are total 3D printing nerds, and then even more volunteers who are even nerdier. So that reminds me, we have a DoSpace Slack to kind of help. Yeah. We, I think a lot about the culture that we're building in that building, and I want to make sure that there's a digital version of it, and so we created a Slack, and that would be a perfect place to kind of chat about that and be like, hey, this is what I've got. Have you ever tried to hack it so it's cheaper? What kind do you have?
DaVinci XYZ.
Oh, I've heard of it, but I haven't used that one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they're really cheap, but I think their profit model is like mark up the filaments that they sell. So,
yeah, they'll do that to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. What do you guys think?
How do you get on the DoSpace Slack?
Well, you can email me or hello@dospace.org. Most of the invites, they're going through that email address, but you can email me directly too. It's Saavik@DoSpace, or I'm all over the internet. You can find me. Just be like, yo, hey, I'm on Midwest Dev Chat, so you can get on there and then get on this one. Yes, so many Slacks. It's gonna be insane. So we worked with a marketing company called Swanson Russell, and they pitched it to the people who kind of founded the project. So the idea behind it is that we knew we wanted kind of like a techie space, but we wanted it to be playful and approachable and focused on action and accomplishing something. So even if that accomplishment is something really small, to kind of celebrate that. So when you walk in, we have this like huge vinyl graphic that says "Do something great today," and that's kind of the spirit of it. So yeah. All right, great. Well, don't be a stranger. Come down and visit. We're open 9 to 9 every day, except for like major holidays. So all right. Thank you.